The last elected president of Haiti, Jovenel Moïse, was assassinated on the 7th of July 2021. The killing plunged the country into political, humanitarian and security chaos. In the absence of a functioning government, and with a limited police force, rival gangs have increasingly seized control of most of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and more than half of the country. There is not a single elected official left in office, and Haitians have been left with limited access to fuel, water and food. But while the depth of this crisis is unprecedented, the influence of armed gangs and their relationship with politicians have a long history. So how did armed gangs become embedded in Haitian politics? The origins of Haiti's political instability can be charted back to 1791, when an uprising of enslaved Haitians overthrew French colonial rule and won independence. But the resulting emancipation came at a price. Setting an unparalleled historical precedent, France forced Haiti to pay so-called reparations to their former slave masters. The first instalment alone was roughly 6 times the country's income that year, so Haiti was encouraged to take out loans from French banks to make the payments. This became known as Haiti's double debt. This severely damaged Haiti's economy for centuries and prevented the country from investing in its own development. As recent as 1911, for every $3 Haiti generated from coffee taxes, $2.53 went to paying debts held by French investors. In the early 1900s, widespread deprivation accompanied near constant political instability, which saw 7 Haitian presidents either ousted or killed over a 4-year period. This led to the occupation of Haiti by US forces in 1915, who promised to stabilize the country, but instead seized control of many of Haiti's institutions, including the banks and the national treasury. Under US government control, 40% of Haiti's national income was spent on repaying debts to American and French banks. The New York Times has estimated that had Haiti not been forced to make reparations, its economy would have been $21 billion better off. The US occupation ended in 1934, leaving behind a litany of human rights abuses, including forced labour, torture and executions, and a severely weakened economy.
These people have something infinitely more precious than material wealth: liberty.
In 1957, a decade after the US relinquished fiscal control, the dictatorship of François Duvalier began. Ruling amid economic and institutional fragility, and fearing the deadly coups d'etats of the past, Duvalier almost immediately came to rely on armed gangs. In 1959, he created the first paramilitary force, known as the Tonton Macoute. They acted as Duvalier's personal guard and secret police, serving as a counterweight to the army, who had attempted to overthrow him only a year after he seized power. The Macoute helped Duvalier suppress opposition and brutally enforce his rule through massacres, assassinations and political violence. And by 1961, the Macoute had become twice as large as the army. They continued to operate under Duvalier's son Jean-Claude, and even after he was forced from office in 1986, the Macoute would re-emerge in different forms in the late 80s and early 90s, supporting different administrations. In 1991, President Jean-Bertrand Aristide was overthrown by a military coup that crucially included former members of the Macoute. This led to another US invasion in 1994, alongside a parallel United Nations peacekeeping effort, with the aim of restoring Aristide to power, dismantling armed groups and bolstering the police force. But despite international intervention, the situation didn't improve, and in the years that followed, armed gangs continued to operate in support of different political parties. A number of these gangs took over community self-defense groups, while others even fused with the state police. These groups form the basis of what are the established gangs in Haiti today.
The worst disaster in United Nations history. Survivors are continuing to die because of the lack of basic medical help.
On top of such a turbulent political history, Haiti has been rocked by a series of devastating natural disasters. The biggest of which was the 2010 earthquake that killed up to 300,000 people and led to thousands of incarcerated gang members escaping from prison. But the more recent earthquake in 2021, just a month after Moïse's assassination, sent the situation spiraling out of control. Currently, there are around 200 gangs operating across the country, with many in the capital Port-au-Prince, controlling large parts of Haiti's economy. They profit from kidnapping, raiding businesses, as well as food, fuel, and other supplies. They have also taken control of key infrastructure, drawing income from customs, water and electricity, and even bus services. With Haiti facing a convergence of so many crises, the spectre of international intervention is rising once again.
In the present circumstances, we need an armed action to allow for a humanitarian corridor to be established.